Hi, this is Charlotte, and you are watching United Rock Nations.
Hello, guys of United Rock Nations. We are an amazing company with Charlotte Wessels. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, we are here, of course, to talk about the new album, Obsession. What is your feeling about this new album?
I'm excited about it. Not too long until it releases, just a little bit of a wait more to go. And, we've got our time filled in the meantime with all these exciting things. We're preparing for the live shows. We've got singles coming up. So, yeah, it's exciting times for sure.
Absolutely. What a journey from Delane to Obsession. From the beginning of Delane, from the first album, Delane to Obsession. How have you built your musical evolution over time?
Well, I mean, it's been 20 years. I don't know how much time you have been, but
20 years. Oh, amazing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess yeah, it has. But I think most recently, after COVID, after the band split, I'm very grateful that I had my Patreon platform because it kind of allowed me to remain a full-time musician over the pandemic and through my departure from the lane. So um, yeah, it's been quite an unusual journey, I guess. But I'm very grateful for all the steps in it. Like and I'm also like I'm glad that I did the compilation albums because they've allowed me to learn what I needed to learn in order to now make the Obsession, which I'm so excited about. And of course, for me, it's also like on an emotional level, just very amazing to be back on the road with the band soon again. Honestly, I don't know where to start if I'd have to describe the kind of like an evolution and a journey of that many years. So I tried to take some things out of it. But please feel free to ask in-depth questions about any of it if you'd like.
No, it's just because what my first impression when I listened to the album Obsession is the contrast with a beautiful vocal melodies, soft verses, and huge heavy guitars on the chorus. Is that your musical signature is very different from the past, from Delane, from everything you did before.
I think I've always enjoyed kind of the contrast between this sort of softness and harshness, the kind of dramatics in the dynamic of things. I hadn't thought about it being more prominent on this record than it has been in the past, but I do recognize what you mean. It's definitely something that I enjoy a lot. Yeah.
Tell us more about the songwriting process. Did you write all the songs? Tell us more about.
Yeah, yeah. So what basically happened is like because I feel like this is kind of my first full band
Yes.
solo record, but the compilation albums before were quite relevant. What I did is what I've been doing since May of 2020 is I've been putting out a song like I've been writing, recording, and producing a song here in my basement
Yeah.
every single month. I'm now at Song of the Month number 54 I'm working on. So I've been doing this, and my previous two compilation albums were kind of collections of the songs that I've been writing and putting out. The way I was doing it back then, it was like a very spontaneous process. Like I was teaching myself production, I was kind of venturing out and trying out different genres as well, because I've been doing symphonic metal for 16 years, which was something
Exactly.
I really enjoyed. But I had a lot of ideas from over the years that maybe did not fit that I kind of wanted to finish and put out there. So I've been doing all of these things, and then after 1 or 2 years, I thought, okay, this is incredibly educational and a lot of fun, but I kind of wanted to work on a more traditional album effort again. So what remained the same as it was with the compilation albums is that the first versions of the songs on this record I still wrote and recorded with digital instruments, like just alone right here in the basement, and I also put them on Patreon. So patrons already know the first incarnation of the songs. But whereas uh, for the compilation albums, for Tales from 6 Feet Under, Volume 1 and 2, that was the end of it. That was the songs finished. For the Obsession, that is kind of the point where I went into this new phase with the songs. And this was a phase of rearranging, rewriting. Like this time, I really took the time to think, okay, did I do all that I wanted to do with these songs? And for some songs, I already knew, like, I wanted to write an instrumental part, but I didn't have the time because, it's every month I have tight deadlines. So, so I kind of started with, okay, what are the things that I kind of still wanted to do? And then I also opened it up to the band because on this record, I think that like one of the most influential differences on this album is the fact that I'm not alone, but I have this band with me in the studio. So
Absolutely,
that's
absolutely.
Timo and Otto and Joey and Sophia. Um, and um, what I did then is I kind of opened up that the process for the band. Timo spent a lot of time rearranging the songs with me, like taking my programmed guitar parts and making them massive and making them Timo. And but at the same time, I also really noticed how he was listening to what I was doing and kind of magnifying that. So that was really exciting process. Also helped me making it ready for like the band recordings. We went into the studio with the entire band to do Joey's drum recordings to really get that kind of organic band feel in the song recordings. And we didn't like edit it to death after that either. Like we left it pretty much the way it was, and then everyone started recording on that. And also notable, Vikram Shankar, he did additional arrangements on the key and the orchestral parts. I kind of liked my own work there to start with, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll ask him for one or two songs, but I sent it out and I really loved what he was doing. So in the end, I sent him all of the songs and he went over all of the songs. That was also pretty influential for what you hear right now. And then of course everyone put their heart and soul and like their own signature thing in how they actually recorded the parts. So a big part of it is still the same in the sense that I wrote the songs, I published them on Patreon, but then when it comes to the recording and also part like the arranging, this is where it became more of a team process, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was easy to work with the old Delane lineup because you still work with them before.
Yeah, definitely. But we did work differently than we worked with Delane because something like, being in the studio and recording all together is not something that we had done before. So this was a new experience. It really was a different sort of process. It was really enjoyable. I really had a lot of fun, especially those days with the entire band in the studio. That feels really um, I mean, it's great recording everything separately, because then you can really zoom in and give it the attention that it needs. But I'm glad that we had the days going through all of the songs as a band all together before the
Yes.
first part was recorded, so that we could really test drive for everything. Like, how does this work in a band context? And I think that really helped for what you hear now.
But when you write songs, you play all instruments, guitar, bass, drums.
Yes, I play them all, but I play them all on.
Okay.
No, I use a lot of plugins, so I take all the help that I can get from the tools which are available. So I can think of it and I can find the right, I can find the right tools to communicate, like what am I looking for? And also, to make those initial versions. Like every now and then it ends up like, even if I do like guitar solos on the keyboard, every now and then it ends up sounding quite convincing. But in the end, of course, it's nothing like me banging on a keyboard is not the same
Absolutely.
as a Timo or a Joey or an Otto, so yeah, uh, yeah. But
So
I'm very happy that I can do it, to write the songs and to really get the complete song, to be able to make the full songs, to have it mixed, and to basically just have a song, and then from there you can only make it better. But I'm really happy that I now kind of have the independence to, yeah, to do that initial step on my own, because often it's quite an introverted, vulnerable state in which you write the
yes,
songs.
yes,
So
yes. It's personal.
yeah, exactly. So it's nice.
On the album, there is also two female singers as guests. Alisa, of course, of Archenomy, and Simons of Epica. Tell us more about the collaboration with them.
Oh, well, I am really excited to have both of these great performers on the record. First of all, Simone, the song Dopamine. So the song Dopamine is basically about the side effects that I experienced from being on antidepressants a while back. And actually, the very first time that I opened up about that publicly,
Oh,
in it was in an interview, a live streamed interview. After that interview, Simone reached out to me straight away, and she was like, "Hey, let's chat." This was, I think, 2 years ago, and we really connected after that. Of course, we knew each other before that, but we really connected after that. We had a lot of talks. We did other collaborations, and at one point, I wrote the song about this subject and I put it on Patreon. And Simone and I, we are each other's patrons as well. And she texted me like, "Oh, I've been listening to this song on repeat," and that's when I thought, oh, it's kind of the subject that we bonded over, and she really likes the song. So if this song ever makes it to the album, then I hope that she would like to sing on it. And then the as for the so yeah, so and she did, so I was really excited about that. She recorded the vocals here, we got to record this awesome video for it. And then as for Elisa, we also go way back, like we met on Delane's
yes,
first
absolutely.
US tour in 2023, 13. And we have done a lot of collaborations, and there's kind of a common theme in a lot of them, where it's songs based on famous poetry. Like we've done Lizzie on a poem of Elizabeth Siddal. We've done songs based on Oscar Wilde poems. And Ode to the West Wind is a song I wrote, which also came out on Patreon, and it's based on a poem by Percy Shelley, also called Ode to the West Wind. And I thought, I didn't have the time when I was doing the Patreon song to invite her straight away, but I thought, I could already hear how it would work with both of our vocals, and especially since it is such a nice continuation of the theme that we've got going on. I thought of asking her as well, and I'm really happy she obliged. Might I ask, when is this interview coming out?
After the release of the album.
After the release of the album. Okay, wonderful. So then I can tell you that we this is going to be the final single for the album, and we recorded a video for it as well, which is now being edited. So yeah, it was really nice finally, because we've done also a lot of projects during the pandemic where we've been recording like from other sides of the world. And for this one, we actually got to come together and record it together. So that was really wonderful. Yeah.
I would like to talk to come back to dopamine, as I said before. Um, is it a therapy for you to write about it?
Yes, yes, definitely. In a way, like there is certain things or certain moods, and the only way for me to get out of it will be to work with it through music or you know, writing or drawing, or but you know, to actively do something with it like this. And then for me, music is a very good tool for that. So yeah, it's a very selfish reason to make music, but it works.
Fantastic. Let's talk about some songs of the album. I selected two songs that I want to talk about.
Sure.
The first one, it's an interesting song, is Praise. Why this song? Because of course, it's a heavy song, but with some soul music touch.
Yeah.
There is a link with the title Praise, I think, soul music, praise. I love a lot that song. Tell us more about that song. It's a very interesting song.
So I when I wrote the song, I started with the chorus, and right from the first few bars, I thought, you know, okay, this is like a soul gospel thing.
Exactly.
And of course, the very title being praise led me towards the gospel side. I finished the initial version of the song. It's just my vocals. And of course, it's also, of course, it's not of course, but the song is not religious. It's basically about, you know, needing praise and validation from other people in order to feel anything or to feel good.
Okay. It's not about religion. Okay.
It's not about religion, no. However, I did uh, end up inviting a gospel choir, a real gospel choir,
Oh,
to perform the vocals of the song with me. So you'll hear them in the choruses, you'll
exactly.
hear them in the background choirs, and you
Absolutely.
hear them towards the end doing some absolutely epic ad libs, which were spontaneous single taker. So that was absolutely amazing. And they liked the song too, even though it wasn't religious. They had to kind of test read it, but they approved. So,
It,
yeah.
it's new. It's fresh because usually we don't have so much gospel on a heavy metal.
No, it's also it's a weird combination, but it kind of works. And I also think that towards the end, like Timo worked on this kind of riff, this kind of Soundgarden-y, Morello-ish riff towards the end, which combines also weirdly, which combines so well with their vocals. Yeah, and then these really feel like gifts on the record to me because you know you imagine something, but to actually have it turn out that cool is yeah, I'm really excited about it. Praise is one of my favorites for sure.
It's a great song. Um, Another one of my favorites is the Crying Room.
Mhm.
It's an interesting song. Tell us more about that song.
So, so the initial idea of the crying room kind of came when we did our first show, like the release show for the Tales from 6 Feet Under albums. This is when I first got the band together again. And I was really excited about that show. But at the same time, like I was pretty fucking terrified because, you know, I hadn't been on a stage for 2 years. I had very high expectations of myself. And um, yeah, this is when my tour manager asked me, "Do you want a room of your own?" And I was like, "No, I don't want a room of my own. I just want a place to go if I have a meltdown where I don't ruin the vibe for everyone." So she made like a party room and a quiet room, but
Huh?
the quiet room was in fact, you know, the crying room. And that kind of stuck with me. Like we were joking, like, "Oh, I have to go to the crying room." And um, I thought it would be an interesting concept for a song, and the way that I started it was you know, Homer's Odyssey. It starts with Muse sing through me the story of a man who is so good at fucking everything he tries. That's not the actual language in
Yes.
Odyssey, but that's kind of what it is. And then I thought it would be interesting to do a variation on that, saying, you know, Muse sing through me the story of someone who is really, really terrified and kind of wants to quit, but doesn't. So yeah, um, It's kind of a theme on the album, I think. The Soft Revolution is also very much about kind of defying the odds and doing the thing, even though you know you're not okay, even though you're scared, even though. So I think they're kind of sisters in that.
So thank you very much for all this information about the two songs.
Yeah.
Let's talk about concerts. In November, you will begin a headline a European tour
Mm-hmm.
with a show in France, of course, the 21st November. We will be there, of course, to see you. What will Charlotte's show look like?
Only one way to find out. That's my way of saying people should come to the show. I'm sorry. Um, well, you know, I've done what will my show look like? Well, we're starting we do one um release show.
Okay,
And during the release show, you know, since it's a headline tour, we have the space and the time to do some special things. After that, we're going to do support tours, um, and we've got a big tour lined up with Vola in November. Um, what will it look like? We'll be bringing the Obsession mostly.
absolutely, of
Um,
course.
yeah, we're all very excited to you know bring this album to the stage, and we're going to put our entire hearts into that. If you say what will it look like visually, we're going to do as much as we can with the limits of being, you know, a special guest or a support act on a tour. But like I said, people will have to come and find out. And
Absolutely.
we'll share things on our socials as well, of course,
Okay.
so that
Is
if
it
people are on the other side of the world, they can also see something.
is it easy for a singer to sing every night, night after night, during 1 month? Is it difficult for your voice to sing every
Um,
night?
yeah, yeah, it kind of is. And this is also something that I'm slightly nervous about because I haven't been on a full tour for 5 years.
Oh,
Yeah, it was 2019, the last full tour with Delane, and I've done some shows in between, but this is my first time going on the road for a full month again. So I'm training. Yeah, it's the only thing I can do. I'm training again. It's intense. It's kind of a good thing to be starting doing support shows again because then you know it's uh, at least you're not on stage like 2 hours every night because
exactly.
I think the last run of this tour is 10 shows in a row without a day off, so it's quite intense.
We will see.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I cannot wait. It's going to be amazing being on the road again.
Fantastic. So thank you very much, Charlotte, for all this information about Obsession. It's a great album. Thank you very much for this beautiful music.
Thank you. Thanks for covering it.
And we hope you the best, of course, for Obsession. And we will be there to see you the 21st November in Paris.
Perfect, perfect,
Thank
perfect.
you very much, Charlotte. We hope you the best, and we'll see you in November in France.
Thank you. See you very soon. Bye bye.
Bye.
Enjoy your day. Bye.